This from Daniel Anderson to tie the football game. Snap's good, hold good, kick is good. Is to give the Blazers a 6-3 lead. Snap's good, the hold's good, the kick is up, plenty of distance. Good, it's right through the middle. And yes, it is 6-3 lead for the Blazers. So Daniel Anderson waits for the snap, gets it, holds there, kicks up,
good,
and is right down the middle.
The David Dean Show, your weekly look at Valdosta State University Blazer football. Here's your host, Dick Rockey, along with head coach David Dean, for a look at this week's Blazer football action.
Hello and welcome to the David Dean Show. This is Dick Rockey with the head coach. Blazers come home from a tough loss at the University of Arkansas-Monticello on a Saturday night, 23-9, losing to the Boll Weevils. Coach, we were just here sitting here chatting. They came in 2-2. You kept telling everybody they're a good football team, and it's a combination of them playing really, really good, and your Blazer football team just did not play good.
No, we didn't. We didn't play very well at all, and I think their defense played excellent football. You know, obviously they've gone about 10 quarters now without giving up a touchdown, and that tells you how good their defense really is. And we had some opportunities in the game. We let it get away. We just did not make the plays that we had to, and they, to their credit, made some great runs late in the ball game. We knew that they were a great fourth quarter team. They scored 28 points against Arkansas Tech and came back and won. And every game they played very well in the fourth quarter, and we weren't up for the challenge at that time.
I can come out to practice every Thursday and hear you say, whether it's Delta State or North Alabama, whoever, the Blazers are always going to get the best. It doesn't matter what they did the week before or 2 weeks before. When they play Valdosta State, it's the biggest game on their schedule normally, and they proved that again last night. Had a nice crowd over there in their small stadium, but it just was their night.
Well, it was funny. I told our guys earlier in the week, when we saw them on film, every game they played in all white, whether they were at home or on the road. And I said, I guarantee you guys, when we show up over there Saturday night, they're going to be dressed in all black and going to be ready to play, and they're going to have a big crowd there, and that's exactly what happened.
Well, a tough loss for Valdosta State. Blazers dropped to 4-1. We'll come back in just a moment and see the first half highlights.
Valdosta State University. Encouraging.
In-depth inquiry.
Hands-on experience.
Service and involvement.
And a global view.
While offering
a beautiful residential campus.
Over 100 fields of study.
Graduate and online degrees.
And championship athletics.
All in a warm and friendly community.
Get connected and involved.
Do more. Become more.
Valdosta State University.
Coach, right off the bat, Arkansas-Monticello, a little bit surprising to me. They won the toss, and as good as their defense is, they wanted to get the football in their hands right off the bat. Your defense did a good job. You get it right back, and then our problems started almost immediately on the very first play for the Blazers.
Yeah, you know, it's not a very good sign when you come out in the first play of the game, you throw an interception. And, you know, our defense did. They made a great stop. They had a great punt, and then we turned it over, and our defense had to bow their necks right off the bat. And I was real proud of our defense, held them to a field goal. They got the ball inside the 20 and only came away with 3 points. And hopefully that was going to be a good start for us, but it turned out it wasn't.
Let's watch the first half highlights. It was the first half of field goals between the two teams. Blazers come out in their white. We had a few fans over there. It's a heck of a trip for anybody to make, but it's always nice to see a few Valdosta parents and boosters over there.
Well, it was good. We pulled up in the bus and we saw the Fambro family out there tailgating, and you know, it was good. We appreciate everybody going with us and making the long trip. We had great coverage here on the opening kickoff. We go down there and pin them inside the 30-yard line like we like to do, and come out and make a great stop. We had great coverage. Quarterback has to throw the ball away, and you know, they had a very good run game. And that was one thing that we felt like if we had shut their run game down, we were going to have an opportunity to be successful. They had a great punt, and then we'll see the first play right here. We just tips it right out of our hand. They intercept it and get it inside the 20-yard line. And you know, we gave up a first down and put them a little bit closer, and they had the ball inside the 10-yard line and could not get it in. And they tried two run plays and then a pass play, and we stuffed all of them. And it was just good for our guys to come out there and make that stop and keep it at a three-point game. We came very close to blocking that, Lawrence Virgil about slipped through there and got his hand on it. And then we come back out in the second series, and there's a little screen there to Quinn, and they got us for a hold out there on the outside. And then here's a third down and long. We end up throwing the ball underneath and don't make any yards and punt the ball back to them. And very close, again, to making some big plays in the secondary. We tipped some balls, got our hands on some balls, and we only came away with one interception on the night. Wish we would have picked up a few more. This is what had hurt us all night. Their running back just continued to push our pile backwards. We got a penalty right there and a helmet-to-helmet look, a helmet-to-helmet hit on the quarterback. It gave them field position, and we end up blocking the field goal there, slipped through and got it. And here's a big third down conversion right there to Shantavius Jones, makes a nice catch. And then we put in Caden Cochran a little bit. He ran the football there on the quarterback sweep. And here's a little screen to David Bailey. Give him some positive yards again. This is after a hold where we back up. We've got second down and about 20 right there. And we were able to convert on the long yardage with a throw to Trey Herndon. And we'll throw in the flat to David, and he gets up the field. Screen pass back out here to Trey. That's another third down conversion right there. So offensively, we're working pretty good right now. Good throw there to Shantavius. That was another third down conversion on that drive. And then right here, if we can just keep our feet and get down in there, we don't score. And Daniel Anderson comes in there and ties the ball game up. And then, again, good kickoff coverage. Pin those guys down there. This is after a first down that they moved the ball outside the 40-yard line. And then here's a third down conversion for them. They make that. Offensively, both teams were making a lot of third down conversions early, just not putting a lot of points on the board. A big play right there by Tyler Josie, knocking that ball down on third down. And we run the sweep there with David, pick up some positive yards. Ended up not making a first down and having to punt the ball back. Big throw right there. Great coverage there by Chris Kaspari. And then he comes right back and makes the interception off the hit on the quarterback, puts us in good field position. We run the ball, and then right after this, we throw a little pass into the end zone that should have been a touchdown, and we drop it. So we could have easily been up 10-3 here. And then, just a force. We tried to force the ball down in there, don't get it, can walk away with a field goal, at least be back up 6-3. And just a mistake by Austin. He knew it. As soon as he let the ball go, you could hear him out there on the field. But big play here, knocking that ball away and not giving them an opportunity to make a big play. And a good job there, Timon Hudson, on stopping the run there on third down. And this is right before the half. If we make a big play here, we're going to try and go in and get some points. And what a great run there by Griffin Raleigh, just carrying the pile. And then we end up having a holding penalty that knocked us back. And then right there before the half, we had a personal foul call. So we come out in the second half where we're supposed to get the football, and we're having to get it after a 15-yard penalty.
Coach, you talked about so many times we were down there, 0 for 3 in red zone touchdowns, had to settle. And, of course, they were 0 for 4 at that point, I think, in the whole game, 0 for 4 in the red zone touchdowns. Both defenses just played well down there and didn't let things happen.
Well, they're a very good red zone defense. And, like I said, they haven't given up a touchdown in about 10 quarters. And they've been that type of defense. They really buckle down. They're a lot like us. They buckle down in the red zone area, and it's very tough to score on them down there. We had our opportunities. We had a drop ball. We just made some poor decisions on some throws. And, that ends up being the difference in the game. If we can convert those, it's a totally different ball game in the fourth quarter.
The Blazers go to the locker room at the half tied. We'll be back in a moment with the second half.
Dupree Miles from Brooks County, Georgia, linebacker. You're watching the David Dean Show.
Coach Dean, you come out of the locker room. We're tied at the half. A tight football game. We're going to get the football to start the second half, which we wanted. But I keep saying, and I hate to do it, but the Blazers they get some good things going, and then a penalty, a turnover, whatever, just happened the whole night.
Right. Well, we had 17 penalties on the evening and 5 turnovers, and you're just not going to win a lot of football games doing that. And I felt like for us, we had to come out and play well in the third quarter. Arkansas-Monticello has been a great fourth quarter team. We needed to have a lead going into the fourth quarter and force and put a little pressure on those guys, and unfortunately we weren't able to do that.
Let's go ahead and look at the second half highlights. Really started off almost like the first. Here come the Blazers out of the locker room, and it was a long trip. We don't use that as an excuse anymore. They just struggled on Saturday night. Here's this kickoff.
Yeah, I thought it was a very easy trip. It was a good flight and easy bus ride up. And, like I said, we came out after a 15-yard penalty, and Matt Pierce got us good field position, decent field position up to the 28. We came out, we were trying to run the ball better, made a few adjustments on what we were doing in the run game. And, again, we were moving the football here to open the second half. And here's a big throw right there to Griffin Raleigh. Again, we're lucky there. We lose the football, but it goes out of bounds. And here's another big run there by David. Gets us down inside the 40-yard line and throw the screen there to Trey Herndon. Again, good field position, moving the ball, and we just can't get it in the end zone. We had a penalty there that backed us up. We end up giving up a sack that backed us up. And we're fortunate Daniel came out in the opening drive there and kicked a field goal. So we go up 6-3. They changed their quarterbacks about midway through the second quarter, and he was a spark for them. He did an excellent job running their offense. He became a run threat. He wasn't much of a thrower, but what he did for their football team gave them a huge spark. Great play right here by John Belt. Great coverage. Great kick there by Jack Fulford, hanging it up, giving our guys time to get down the field. And again, you can see right there, we've got him bottled up for a no gain, and all of a sudden he's got 3 yards. He slips through there, and then here's their quarterback, again, getting out of trouble, getting up the field, getting some yardage. Quarterback draw, he gets a first down here, about 3rd down and 6, and he gets about 8 yards. And so again, you can see right there, there's about 2 or 3 yards after contact, and we're usually a lot better at that. Strip the ball there, it bounces right back to their quarterback, and then again, good tackle, good defense against their run all the way up until the fourth quarter here. And great play right there by Jeremy Grable, and here's just kind of an unlucky bounce. Matt makes a great play, and their receiver does an excellent job of focusing in on the ball, brings it in, and now we're down 10-6. We gotta put something together here offensively, and it's a great throw here to Shantavius Jones. He goes up high on the ladder and brings it down. And then right after that, we come back and we have a tip ball that goes right to their hands. They intercept it, and we give them the ball right back after they've taken a 10-6 lead. And here's the little play that they heard us on all night. It was a little bubble screen. Late in the fourth quarter, they were able to throw that and make some positive yards on it. It was kind of frustrating for us. We were blocking the same way as their receivers were out on the perimeter, and we were getting called for holding calls, and they weren't. But here's a big play here. This turned out to be a huge play in the game. We broke a run, got called for holding, came back, and David breaks it again, and then they just strip the ball, and then we just do a poor job of tackling. First play of that drive, they score. So now we're down by 11. Heck of a job here by our offense. We didn't give up. We came right back. We made some great throws, great catches, great protection, put ourselves again in position. We felt like we just got a field goal. We were down 1 score. So we put it back to 8 points right there. And we just got to get a stop right here. And unfortunately for our defense, we weren't able to do that. To their credit, they did a great job of breaking tackles, making some big plays, and a big touchdown run right there that put them up 23-9, and then we got the ball back and basically ran out of time there at the end of the game.
Coach, your defense was on the field. They had the ball for 35 minutes in the football game. They're out there a lot. Those last couple of series, just you could see the emotion had gone. They were doing the best they could, but just a step slower. And then I want to mention David Bailey had another tremendous night rushing the ball, 120-plus yards, 124 net yards rushing, but When you read the paper this morning, he is a down player right now, but you always look at the last fumble. You don't look at the other 4 things that negatively that happen. So, but he's been running well, and he'll hopefully come back for this.
Well, I hope he will. And that's part of football. You just got to protect the football better. And I know he said I cost us the game, and that's not true. He did not cost us the game. It's a culmination of a lot of things: penalties, turnovers, poor tackling. We just didn't execute. We didn't make the plays down the stretch, and that was the difference.
Blazers dropped to 4-1 on the season. We'll be back with some scores in just a moment.
Hey, I'm Jack Fulford from Waycross, Georgia, senior punter, and you're watching the David Dean Show. Go Blazers!
Welcome back to the scoreboard. And Coach, just throw some scores at you in the Gulf South Conference, and I guess the GAC Conference now, whatever it is. But Henderson State, West Georgia, 50-30, Henderson State over the Braves.
Yeah, a lot of points being scored right there. West Georgia comes off Monticello not being able to score and then puts up 30. Don't know how they did that, but that Henderson State's a very good football team and wins against a good defense right there and scored 50. That's scary.
Of course, they called West Georgia the Braves. That was a no-no, so we apologize for that. Delta State 45-14 over Wichita Baptist, our upcoming opponent. Delta actually trailed, I think, right around halftime there.
Did they really? They really must have come back there in the second half. That's Wichita Baptist's first loss on the year. Yeah. They're 4-1 just like us. So both of us are coming off a loss, squaring up Saturday afternoon.
31-17 West Alabama over Harding. Harding been scoring tremendous numbers.
Yeah, obviously West Alabama came out and played an excellent defensive football game, and they're good. They're a good football team. Everybody in the Gulf South Conference is playing very well right now, probably with the exception of Valdosta State. We were really the only one that dropped a game yesterday.
And North Alabama 42-14 over Southern Arkansas. I think they were actually trailing at the half by a touchdown, maybe, or right around the halftime too, the last score I got, but they're going to move to number 1 in the nation. Delta State's going to move to number 2 after the number 1 and 2's lost.
Sure. Well, 4 of our last 5 opponents are all going to be ranked, and starting this week with Wichita Baptist, and we're fixing to hit the toughest part of our schedule. Believe it or not, as tough as it's been early on. And somebody gave me, I think it was you the other day, brought by and said the toughest Division II schedule in the country is Valdosta State, and
everybody else we play.
Exactly right. So we're living up to that, but. That's part. If you can get by this gauntlet and hopefully get yourself in a position to make the playoffs, you got a chance to do something.
All right, Coach, we'll be back with the Langdale Honda Kia look ahead in just a minute.
In each of us, there is a hero, a champion, a legend waiting to happen. This is no ordinary museum. The College Football Hall of Fame in South Bend, Indiana.
Coach Dean, we're going to load up on the airplane again next weekend and make a trip back to Arkansas, thankfully for the last time this season against Wichita Baptist. And you mentioned in the scores, their first loss of the year, a good football team. We know that. And give me your thoughts as we go into this coming week.
Well, they're a well-coached football team. The last time we made this trip to Arkansas, to Arkadelphia, Arkansas, we lost to Wichita Baptist in 2009. So we want to go out there and redeem ourselves. Obviously, we want to redeem ourselves after making that trip yesterday and losing. Go out there and play much better. The flight has nothing to do with the way that we play. It's a matter of just going out there and executing. I told our team before we left that I've been doing this since 2009. We're 24-3 traveling this way, so that has absolutely nothing to do with it. So we're 24-4 now, so hopefully we'll move it to 25-40.
Well, Coach, we're always down. Everybody's always down after a loss, and Valdosta State, with our past history, we're just Blazer fans, coaches, players are not used to losing football games, and it's hard to do, but it's you're not going to win them all normally, and the team's 4-1, still got 5 games left on the schedule. it's, as they say, it's right in front of your team and the coaches. It's there for the taking. You just got to play better.
Well, we do, and you go back and look, and Wingate is winning. Albany State is winning. You know, obviously Southern Arkansas lost to the #1 team in the country now, and Newberry lost to one of the top teams in the South Atlantic Conference yesterday. So, you know, we've beaten good football teams. We just ran into a team last night that wanted it a little bit more than we did. We got to go out and we got to find that hunger again, and that was what I was afraid of, that we weren't going to be hungry enough making that trip out there to play those guys, and it proved to be true.
Well, you got a week to get them ready, and we'll make that trip over to Ouachita and get back on the winning track. So the Blazers come away with a loss, drop their record to 4-1, be headed to Ouachita Baptist next Saturday for a football game, fortunately an afternoon game. So for the head coach, David Dean, I'm Dick Rockey. Hope you have a great week.